Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Naram Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show. Goodness gracious me. We say welcome to each and every one, and it's another night, another packed show. And I say to all of you, please like, share, subscribe, comment, and click that notification bell. So, as we always do, ladies and gentlemen, each and every time we're on the show, we say always pray when you're going out, pray when you're coming in, but always remember, God is in control. So welcome back, and please like, share, subscribe, comment, and click that notification bell. So we're going to do a little programming change here. Normally, we would have the community events and news at the end of the show. So we're going to toy with bringing that to the beginning of the show so that we can highlight a lot of the stuff that happens in South Central Jamaica. That's Southeast St. Elizabeth, Southwest Manchester. That's where we concentrate. So that's our programming change. So post-election voting and ballot box problems are going on in Jamaica right now. We're not going to touch no more politics. We're going to follow up and in the future and see what happens with all of that. But I do believe we covered the election in a lengthy way. So I want to move away from that, ladies and gentlemen, and move on to greater things here on this program. So we always start with our community jokes, right? Goodness gracious me. So we have some jokes lined up for you. So you have some people just follow people, whatever they do. They don't ask any question, they just follow. You know what I mean? Well, check this out, guys. You're gonna love this one. Here we go. Goodness gracious me. Some people just like follow people. You know what I mean? But we have another one here for you. And I want you to check this out because this is amazing. This is our second joke. You know, like some women, you know, the dance hall of Jamaica, right? The real deal dance hall. Let's dive into that a little bit. You know, when some women put on them clothes and go in at the dance hall and then finally come on with them like, you know, them no business of who for people. You know what I mean? So let me get that off my let me get that out. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so them not really business of fool people, you know, them just want to dance. And they might take with a person that took. So then you have the original Ray come over and them just say, yo, yeah, you make me feel good tonight, you know. So I'm gonna just work with it. So you have to go work with me. So I'm gonna give you one right now, which is gonna knock your socks off. It's called Worries in the Dance. You know what I mean? Worries they are. So let me find it and bring it on screen right now. Here we go. I'm gonna bring it on screen right now. Here we go. I'm gonna share it with you. This is our second joke. All right. So let's bring that on screen. Yeah, here we go. I can't really play the audio on that too much. Some moms are work all boy, they know say I don't know if a wife will come over. But watch old girl and I'll go take over. Watch it. My boy look and say, no, sir. Mm-mm. I work with that one day, you know. Goodness gracious me. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Naram Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show. All right. Yeah, so those are community jokes. If you remember, Kahela Martin from Comapan District in St. Elizabeth and Coach Jody, who took them to the Dominican Republic, and you, the audience, also helped to contribute to make that trip happen. You remember that Kahela Martin? Yeah. All right. The entire team, and this is gymnastics team, ladies and gentlemen. The entire team came third in that competition in the Dominican Republic. 30 countries, including the United States, competed, and Jamaica came third. We had gold medals and also bronze medals and so on. But the team did absolutely wonderful, and they will be here. Coach Jody will be here soon, and Kahela and some of the team members that went there. And on PIP Mondays, that's on Monday, we're gonna announce it again. Hopefully, we have a day and time that they will come on to the show. But that's a beautiful thing. Also, my nephew from Sea Air District that lives in England, that's Ashady. His new show is going to debut on September, and that's September 19th in England. So let's put this is Ashady, PassionRadioUK.com Traffic Jam Show. It's going on air live from Friday, September 19th. I'm going to get him on the show next week, or the week of the show, sorry, maybe the day before or 2 days before, to talk about his show. So look out for Ashady on this show. All right, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about that a little bit more in a few minutes. Also, remember that Alpart workers who are suffering from not getting their pensions, they also we're going to be resetting that meeting with them in Jamaica very, very soon. So watch out for that. It's coming to you soon. So the time is winding down. Also, back to school back to school is on Monday in Jamaica. That's September 8th. The elections are over with. So back to school is around the corner. As you know, PIP Mondays is Monday right here at Naram Promotions, the Real Deal Podcast Show. PIP Mondays is on Monday, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to be diving into a lot of community events on Monday also. But after this, we're going to touch community events. And I have a young lady from Morningside. She's going to be in the back room in a couple of seconds. So we're going to bring her on to talk about her event in a couple of minutes. So PIP Mondays, we're going to emphasize on the we're going to do some house cleaning, things that we have promised um, in earlier shows, like speaking to Jamason. His son passed away, and we were not able to get him on the show because it was a very emotional moment. Remember Fly the Gate? We should have had the Impact events crew, the Impact boss on the show to talk about his event. Well, he has another event, so we're going to try to get him on the show before that event. Also, hot gossip. We have not forgotten about hot gossip. That was a hot topic, and we're waiting for DJ Latta to get back on the show, and he's taking care of some international business. So whenever he gets back and gets settled in, he'll be on the show, and we will be talking about hot gossip again because he's got to be here for that. And also remember, Dragon Force. Remember that, and the crew. DJ Latta has to be there for that too. Also, you're going to be here. I'm going to be dropping some dates about the UK link up with the Naram family in the UK very, very soon, guys. So keep tuned. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and click that notification bell. So let's touch some community events, and we're going to start now. And I'm going to ask Gia to click that link to come into the back room now because you're going to be up in a couple of seconds. So we're going to talk about community events now. So let's start with community news. Remember the memorial for Rakesh, that's on Well Road in New Forest District on September 28th. We're asking each and everyone to support the family of Rakesh. They are going through some tough times in terms of the loss of Rakesh a year ago. So they have this memorial. Go there and support the family. He left behind a wife and a lot of kids. And whatever the community can do to assist that family, please go there on September 28th. It's a Sunday at Well Road in New Forest District in Manchester. That's my side of town. Also, Tata Mobile Sound will be there to entertain you all day long. You know what I mean, and all night. So check it out, guys. It's gonna be great to embrace the family and tell them that everyone still cares. You know what I mean. So we haven't forgotten. So this is gonna be a big deal. So check it out on September 28th. I'm waiting for Gigi or Gia to get on back in the back room here. So let me send her a um a quick 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 uh text message. Um, so join the show now. Okay, so and I also say welcome to each and everyone who is watching from wherever in the world you are. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, and click that notification bell. I'm going to open the phone lines just before I get into U.S. immigration, and that's after I deal with community events. So we're going to start with, we go chronologically. That means the earliest to the latest event in the community. So I'm going to start dealing with that right now. And we're going to start with, hold on a second. Let's get to it. Let's see if Gia has got back in. I don't see her in the back room just yet, but hopefully she'll be able to link back in. Click that link, Gia, and come back in. We need you to be in the back room right now. So let's see if she answered. Okay, she's on a call, so we're waiting for her to come to the back room. In the meantime, let's look at Sunday. That's tomorrow. Tomorrow, these are community events, guys. That's September 7th, 2025. We have cricket at the Bowes Oval. Bowes Oval is in Downs District in Manchester, and it's on that main road from Gutters to Alligator Pond. Bowes, it's also by where you find Bowes Fish Stop. So you can look at your screen. It's right there. So big up to Iron Bowles. The cricket, he says, cricket, lovely cricket, will be at Bowles Oval at Bowles Fish Stop this Sunday. That's tomorrow, September 7th. It's going to be a big deal, guys. Big, big deal. So be there at Bowles Oval tomorrow. Cricket, lovely cricket. Trust me. So on we have we're waiting for Gia to come on. And we're going to announce it just the same because come Sunday, September 14th, this will be in Morningside District in St. Elizabeth. This is going to be Gia's Sunday vibes, she call it. It says this and every other Sunday. So starting September 14th, and every other Sunday after that, she's going to have what she calls Sunday vibes. Sunday vibes. Also, she's stating that food and food on the house and beverages on sale. So she's saying, don't bother cook your Sunday dinner. Just come early and food on the house. So big up to Gia. We're waiting for her to come and talk about her event. So this is going to be starting Sunday, September 14th, and every other Sunday after that. So food is on the house. You buy your own beverages and your own rare nephew. However, you have a lot of music going on there in Morningside District in St. Elizabeth. If you don't know where Morningside is, on your way to Junction, if you're coming from Nain, Downs District, if you're coming from that end, then, or you're coming from Junction, St. Elizabeth, down, heading towards Nain or Downs. When you get to Witters and Sons Funeral Home, there's a road on your left right beside there. Take that left and you keep going straight for about a mile and a half. It's going to be on your left-hand side. You can't miss it, guys. You'll have music, free food, and you know how the free food go. Yeah. It's a big deal there in Morningside District. It's going to be huge. Check it out. We're waiting for her to come and talk about it. She's on our phone, so we'll take her when she gets on the air. So big up to Gia. This is going to be a big deal. Big up on the start of Sunday Vibes, Sunday, September 14th. Big deal. So we have another event on Sunday, September 14th, and this one is by Skinny, original Dragon Force selector DJ He's having a bingo party on September 14th at Shakara's place in Shiloh Street, Top Prospect District in Manchester. This is going to be a big deal. Big up to Skinny. It's going to be off the chain. I'm telling you, it's going to be loaded. Support Skinny. It's always for a worthy cause. He's a top chef. He said it's going to be $50 per bingo book. That's great, guys. So check out his bingo. It's going to be called Top Farm. Top Farm? Top Farm. Big up Skinny every time. Yeah, so, as you remember, Asher D Radio comes on September 19th, and it's going to be in the UK. He puts it here like it's the Traffic Jam Show. It's on every Friday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. UK time. And you can go to the Apple Store, and here are the links. You can go there and look for Passion Radio. You can go to the Google Play Store and go and look for Passion Radio UK. And also, Alexa can you can ask Alexa to enable Passion Radio UK, and all he has. You can go to www.passionradiouk.com, and you can also download it from there. So it's going to be a big deal on September 19th in the UK when Ashley, well known in the radio field and on social media, he's a great disc jockey from Sierra District in Manchester, and he is now going to debut on Passion Radio. He has switched radio stations, by the way, so he's well known. So when he fires up on September 19th, it's going to be a big, big deal. Big up to my nephew, Ashley. So check it out, guys. On September 19th, he goes live. He's lighting that fire in the UK on Passion Radio. On his show is called the Traffic Jam Show, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. UK time. Check it out. You can go to the Google store or the Apple store. Download the Passion Radio UK or go to passionuk.com and download the app for Passion Radio. And then he'll be on September 19th, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. UK time. All right, so check him out, guys. It's going to be a big deal. All right. We're still waiting for Gia to come to the back room. Click that link so she can talk about her event on September 14th. However, we have another event called Gallus Anthem. That's DJ Kino. That's going to be a big, big deal, guys. Gallus Anthem. And let's get his poster up here. Let's see. DJ Kino. Here we go. Gallus Anthem is going to be September 26, 2025. And that's going to be at Wayne's Bar in Bentown, Comapan District, or in Manchester. So this is, well, it borders Manchester, St. Elizabeth. So you find both of them right there. So big up to DJ Kino. You have Star Level, Lethal, Stain. You've got DJ Sean and a host of other DJs who are going to be there. And this is going to be a big deal, guys, because DJ Kino is also one of the top DJs in the South Central of Jamaica. He just lost his mom. Condolences to his family and himself. However, this is going to be a big, big deal on September 26th. Big up to DJ Kino. So we have a couple more to go, guys. We have also we're going international now. And this is going to be a big, big deal here in New York. And this is an annual event by someone from St. Elizabeth. So big up to Odette. and the Sent Best Togetherness annual event is Odette and Sandra presenting Sent Best Togetherness on Saturday, October 4th, 2025. It will be at Compound in 19201 Linden Boulevard in Queens, New York. And you're going to have the big bad um, Gemini Disco bad boy. You know what I mean? And you're going to have DJ Andy, Echo Stone, Troy, and as I said, the big bad Glamour Win is gonna be there. That's my brethren, Glamour Win. So big up to Odette. She's from Lidditz, St. Elizabeth. Lidditz, St. Elizabeth. Big up to Odette every time. And her husband. You know how you go, Mr. Dear. I tell you, this event is always packed here in New York. So she keeps it in Mount Vernon sometimes, the Bronx, and also she has now moved it to Queens, New York. And I'm sure if I'm here, I'm gonna be there. It's gonna be a big, big event, guys. Another big event is gonna be in Junction City, and that's Book It. And that's by the Impact Events family. And you know, they always make an impact. This is going to be on October 26th. This is 2025 in Junction, St. Elizabeth. You can see where the tickets are being sold. It says Santa Cruz Dimitri's, Junction Yardman Gas Station, Junction Outer Space Drip, Junction again Jackie's Wholesale, and in Mandeville at Ultimate Dining. Its Book It is called Paint the City. This edition is going to be of Book It is going to be huge, guys. October 26th. Big up to the Impact Events family. Now, we also have Mumasketel. Big up yourself. December 6th, 2025. She calls this this is her annual event, guys. And this is called Ambition Over Hype. It's gonna be a big deal at Times. Time is Now Car Wash in Prospect District in Manchester. And you're gonna be thrilled by Tic Tac Sound, DJ Splendid, and I'm sure other DJs are gonna pass through this event because it's always a big event for these guys. It's not gonna be normal. Big up to Muma Sketel, December 6th. Big deal. So the last one in our community event series, I'm gonna put that on stage right now. It's gonna be an what you call it, December 26th. This is Otis and Randy. These guys are gonna always have a massive party in the South, and I can tell you this: this is gonna be a big deal with the Rum Fatigue crew and all the crew in South Central Elizabeth. It's going big. You know what I mean? So I'm still waiting for Gia to come on the line. I don't know if she's still on the phone, but we're going to move on to some U.S. immigration after this. But this event on December 26th is going to be at Mango Tree Bar in Turner Top District in Manchester. A big deal. You're going to have Eagle Force, the force to be reckoned with in the South. And this, you're going to have DJ Fireblacks as well is going to be there. It's going to be a big deal, guys. Big up to Otis and Randy on this Boxing Day event on December 26, 2025. So, we haven't seen Gia come back on the show. I don't know if she's having communication problems, but we're gonna give her a couple of seconds to get back on the show. She said She'll be calling. She was on a call, but we're still waiting for her to get back here before we dive into some very, very critical U.S. immigration information. Now, if you notice, it says breaking U.S. immigration news. Now, guys, if you remember a few podcasts ago, let me take a sip. That went down the wrong the wrong throat. So, a few podcasts ago, I talked about getting your immigration house in order. Guys, this is bad. In any case, I said things are going to change forever and ever when Donald Trump gets back in office as the president of the United States. That was a warning to everybody, and I kept saying this. I say I've been talking to a lot of people in the past, few years. Well, Biden was in power. Before Biden, when Trump was on his first term, and also prior to that, I kept saying, get your house in order because it will not stay the same no matter how you look at it. It will not stay the same. Donald Trump came into power, things changed. Joe Biden won the presidency, things got relaxed, everybody got relaxed, and then a lot of people started marching through the border, claiming a lot of stuff in the United States, and saying I should be here, I'm entitled to taxpayers' money. A stitch in time saves nine, and you're gonna also remember that nothing lasts forever. So what has happened in the last month, while a lot of people were on vacation, kids were out of school, you traveled somewhere, you were looking at the Jamaican election, you were busy with all of that good stuff over the summer. Donald Trump and his administration were busy working on law and order and getting things straightened out. So there has been some major, major changes that I'm going to tell you about. And if you have anyone here in the United States, or you have intentions of coming here, or you have intentions as green card holders to leave the country, there's a lot of stuff you got to know, even for U.S. citizens, especially those who have retired abroad. There's some things that you got to know. So I'm going to go over those stuff in a couple of seconds. I'm still waiting for Gia to come on and talk about her Sunday Vibes show. Let's remove that from the stage. And we're still waiting for her to come on. So there's a lot of stuff going on with U.S. immigration right now, and some things that, believe me, guys, are it's extremely important that you listen, like, share, subscribe, comment, and click that notification bell. We're gonna start this at the start of the show. So we're gonna dive in the U.S. immigration, and if we have time on the end, and Gia comes back to talk about her Sunday Vibes show in Morningside District in St. Elizabeth, then we'll give her the airtime. But whenever you can, Gia, you can come to the back room or just log in, and then I'll bring you on once we have some time. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's start with U.S. immigration news, and it's going to start this way. Let's get the first video queued up about U.S. immigration. So, here we go. And this is talking about ICE raids. Now, ICE raids have kicked up quite a bit, and they're not going to get any less moving forward. Moving forward, what has happened, what they have organized after the big, beautiful bill. If you remember the big, beautiful bill, Donald Trump got that bill passed. So the funding is there for his entire administration and his term. And this was a big, big deal. It was a very big bill. So what you'll notice as we go along, I'll make mention of some of the stuff that has happened over the last month. Now, the big, beautiful bill was passed for July on July 4th on Independence Day. Now we're at the beginning of September, and they have now organized themselves in such a way that you're going to understand what I mean as we move along. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the ice raids. Ice raids are going to ramp up quite a bit moving forward over the next few months, right through his entire term in office. It's going to get more and more and more. And you're going to see why. Here we go. Let's let Attorney Matt Bean tell you about some ice raids that happened quite recently. Here we go. Let's get her to tell
ICE
you.
has arrested nearly 500 workers at a Hyundai plant in Georgia. This is the largest one-day worksite raid that we've ever seen ICE conduct, and it happened at a South Korea battery maker at a Hyundai plant in Georgia near Savannah. 475 people were arrested, most of whom are South Korean citizens. According to DHS, the individuals arrested were either here in the United States illegally or working illegally in the United States. I've seen some reports that suggest that some U.S. citizens and green card holders were also apprehended and were later released. According to a statement put out by DHS, it says that this operation underscores our commitment to protecting jobs for Georgians and Americans, ensuring a level playing field for businesses that comply with the law. Guys, this is just the beginning. I've talked with you in the past about the fact that businesses should gear up for more of these worksite raids to take place. Ensure that you're employing individuals who are here lawfully in the United States and authorized to work here in the United States. Prepare your company for a possible raid. Get your protocols in place, train your people, and just do things on the up and up. I'm covering all things related to Trump immigration changes. Follow for more.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, this is a no nonsense administration. No nonsense. It's back to law and order, and he said it, and he told us up up front and personal. So this is a big, big deal. The ice raids are going to get more and more. So you got to make sure you got your house in order, guys. This is no joke. They're done playing around, and let's dive into a little bit more. Then I'll talk about it some more afterwards. So um, there's going to be a lot more. Well, USCIS is now beginning to have neighborhood investigations for those, especially with marriage-based petitions. This is a big, big move. It it was this has been happening, but not at the intensity that it is now. There's a big focus on that to quell marriage fraud. So let's look into that, guys. Let's get that on the screen because a lot of people think it's business as usual. It is not. So let's listen to Attorney McBean on this subject. So let's get that on the screen. Let's go. Here we go. And let's get that
People
playing.
who are going through the citizenship process. Let's talk about it. First of all, this is not entirely new. Yes, it is new to our generation because this hasn't happened since 1991, but it is.
So I want you to listen carefully. This has not happened since 1991. And these are people who are looking for their citizenships, their marriage based, also marriage based green people who are looking to get their green cards through marriage. All of that under that umbrella, and across the immigration application spectrum, there's many scrutiny that's is now being introduced that normally they would overlook, but nothing is being overlooked right now. So check it out. If you're applying for citizenship, there's going to be neighborhood investigation.
Policy that the government has that says that an officer who is reviewing a naturalization case has the discretion to waive these neighborhood visits or investigations. What exactly are they going to be looking for? Well, first of all, there's a memo from August 22nd that CBS News has reported on, and I've read that memo, and it says that USCIS will be connecting this investigation to good moral character. They will be asking questions of your neighbors and other individuals in the community to learn more about you and to see whether you're really a good and happy person, so to speak, and ready for citizenship. The way that I view this happening, guys, it will happen after your interview with them. For instance, if things came up during the interview that are questionable and they need to find out more information just to determine whether you have the character for naturalization, well, at that point, I think they could make a referral for there to be a neighborhood investigation done on you, in addition to, of course, the usual FBI background check that they normally would run. Now, this process is something that marriage-based petitioners know about. Some of you know about this because the fraud unit has gotten involved in your case, and so you know that it's possible for them to come out to the home and ask various questions of your spouse to determine whether the marriage is genuine. But in this case, we're talking about naturalization, guys. The government says in this memo that you guys need to come prepared to your interview for naturalization with letters of support from people who could talk about your character, people who know you and who could actually add something of value that they need.
So, for those who are anti-social, you've got to now be a part of the community. People got to have good to say about you. You have to have conversation, interaction with the community. So, God help you if your neighbor doesn't like you. Um, I can't, but try to integrate into the U.S. community, or wherever you're located in the U.S. Try to integrate, like the shops, the supermarket that you go to, speak to people, get names, talk to people, the places that you work, the gas stations you visit, the supermarkets, the laundromats, and so on. Get to know people and their telephone numbers, and so on, that can vouch for you. You speak to immigrant attorneys and so on. That's good, but you can also speak to your friends, good, people who have good moral character, not those who are illegal and those gangs and all that. Because you don't want to mingle with those type of people, because you can get into trouble for that. And you'll see in other videos what I'm talking about. But let's hear from that attorney Matt Bean finish what she's saying, and then we'll move on to the next video. Here we go.
Towards making a decision about your naturalization application. Guys, don't freak out about this. Take it one step at a time. This is discretionary. Many officers will likely waive this requirement unless there is a flag, of course, during your naturalization process. I'm covering all things related to Trump immigration.
So there you go, guys. That's a big deal. With naturalization, you'd think that it was normally going through the motions of filling out the form, studying the 100 questions. All of that has changed. So this is a big deal. Changes are there. You'll hear in subsequent videos. A lot of changes happened um, during the month of August and the beginning of September. So keep watching, guys. We're gonna dive in to our next video that has to do with the 600 new immigration judges that Trump has appointed. This is now a big deal, guys. 600 new immigration judges. Things are going to fly. So those who have cases that have, been backed up, trust me, he's using military judges. This is gonna this changes the game in its entirety. So let's get it on screen so you can hear from Brad Bernstein, attorney Brad Bernstein, about this. It's not normal. You know what I mean? So yeah, let's see. Let's make sure we have the right video up here. Um yeah, so here we go. So we have the right video queued up. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a big deal. I want you to listen, like, share, subscribe, comment, and click the notification bell. Share this with somebody. They need to know. Here we go. Let's get that video started.
Know nothing, zero, about immigration law are now starting at the Justice Department. And that's because 600 new immigration judges who know nothing, zero, about immigration law are now starting at the Justice Department. And that's because the Secretary of Defense has just approved sending 600 military lawyers to act as immigration judges. These judges know less about immigration law than people who follow my page every day. And at the same time, over 100 sitting experienced immigration judges have been fired because the Trump administration doesn't like their decisions. These were judges who were highly experienced, understood the law, practiced immigration law before they became judges, pushed out. For people who know zero, sending military attorneys to be immigration judges is like sending a plumber to do brain surgery. And a plumber wouldn't do brain surgery to risk somebody's life. There are 3.5 million cases backlogged in the immigration court. And decisions by people who know nothing about immigration are going to affect families, businesses, entire communities, the entire United States of America. To me, this is a joke. Tell me what you guys think.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, things have changed and they're changing forever. This is a big deal. Big deal. This is serious. These are 600 immigration judges that are military lawyers coming to deal with the backlog of immigration cases. You know what? And you heard Attorney Bernstein what he just said. Now, check out the next video if you think Trump is joking. Check this out, guys. This is a big deal. So I'm going to bring that on stage for you so you can see what we're talking about. And you'll soon find out why it is important for you to share this video. Share it, guys. Share it, please. Share this with your family and friends. Somebody out there needs to hear this. Share this, please. Here we go. Attorney McBean, we're gonna cue that up.
All right, come on in, guys. Type in freedom now, freedom now. We have some break-in and important immigration news to cover tonight. Say hello, and of course, say where you're joining from. I'm Latoya McBean Pompey, an immigration lawyer in New York, working with clients everywhere. But tonight, I want to talk with you about some historical. Type in historical because we're going to talk about some historical immigration issues in this one. So pull up a chair and be sure to share this live session with others. And after this broadcast, certainly share this with those who you care about, who you think would benefit from this information. Today, we received a couple of breaking news that I'm going to discuss. Number one, USCIS is fully shifting to a law enforcement model. That's number one. Number two, the citizenship test. We learned some very important details today from the director of USCIS about his vision for the naturalization test. Okay. And that includes creating a standardized test, a standardized naturalization exam in which people will go in and sit down and fill out multiple choice questions and write an essay. And then thirdly, the other big thing that we will be discussing tonight is the fact that 10,000 new ICE officers are ready to go.
Have you ever wondered?
So, ladies and gentlemen, let me get that off the screen and go back to regular programming. So let's get that. Here we go.
And there will be a major surge and flooding of the zones, I guess, in sanctuary jurisdictions across the United States. So we're going to touch on that at the very end. But the most important news tonight certainly has to do with the fact that USCIS, guys, USCIS started this year by sharing with the world that their intent is to help ICE carry out its law enforcement functions. And then little by little, day by day, they were tweeting and putting stuff out there to the world to show that they have been helping with the arrest of individuals at their office. They've also been sharing data and information to ICE on individuals who have committed fraud or are suspected of committing fraud. And so they've been behind the scenes turning over records, arranging these scenarios in which folks will be arrested at their field offices. But today, they finally have said that we will have law enforcement officers right there on site that will have firearms on them, guns, and they will be ready to prosecute, not just arrest, but to prosecute individuals. And also, the director of USCIS will be carrying out expedited removal orders. Let's go right into it. If you'd like to see what the rest of the community is seeing here, TikTok and Instagram, certainly you could jump over to McBean Immigration TV, okay, where you will see what I'm about to share now. So here is today's USCIS press release, in which it says here that USCIS to add special agents with new law enforcement authorities. Double tap the screen on TikTok as you're watching this session. Now, the press release says that USCIS is now authorized to expand its law enforcement authorities, and newly minted USCIS 1811 classified officers, commonly known as special agents, will be empowered to investigate, arrest, and present for prosecution those who violate America's immigration laws under a final rule that was published today. Now, the director of USCIS said today in an interview that all that they're doing with respect to these law enforcement activities, and will be doing through their law enforcement activities, in addition to everything else that they have been doing, they want to chill fraud. They want to have a chilling effect on fraud, not a chilling effect on individuals who are trying to get a green card the right way, trying to become US citizens the right way, people who are just regular, average people who are qualified for these benefits. They're not trying to chill you, so to speak, from pursuing your benefit. They're trying to chill fraud. So I do want to say that, okay? In all fairness, that's what he said his intent is. But let's keep going here, because this is going to get very serious very soon. It also says here in the final rule, the DHS authorities provided to USCIS. In this final rule, the DHS authorities provided to USCIS include making arrests, carrying firearms, executing search and arrest warrants, and other powers standard for federal law enforcement. This rule allows USCIS to implement Secretary Noem's delegation of certain law enforcement authorities to the agency, and it allows USCIS to thoroughly fulfill its national security, fraud detection, and public safety missions related to immigration adjudications. But
So, ladies and gentlemen, that goes on a little bit further into what is really going on here. You know, it is a big deal when you have military lawyers now becoming immigration judges, you have 10,000 new minted ICE agents ready to go, and they are now on the job. The 1811 agents with guns, like you're walking into a military base or a police station, at the immigration, they're saying it must feel as if there's law and order. This is a big, big deal. Things have changed and changed drastically. So these agents and these military judges, okay, with guns, when you come in for your appointments, if you have anything adverse, you're going to be placed in removal. And they're going to quickly move you to one of the detention centers somewhere in El Salvador or Guantanamo, down by Alligator Alcatraz, or somewhere else over in Africa. If you are one of those type of um, immigrants, so if you have certain adverse things in your history, or you've committed certain crimes, broken certain laws, they can ship you off to wherever they want to ship you. So you got to make sure that when you're doing your application, speak to an immigration attorney, speak to an immigration specialist. Get your application right the first time. When you're presenting your case, don't leave anything out. Don't hide anything. This is not the time for it. If you're here, the president gave everyone an option. You can buy a golden green card. You can take the $1,000 plus the free trip out of the country, or you can pay $1,000 a day before you make an application. And some people are getting these invoices for $1 million plus. So you can understand what's going on here. Now you have judges, military lawyers now that are acting as immigration judges, and this, I think that's for a short period. And then they have 10,000 new ICE agents ready to find you. So the rates are going to kick up exponentially over the next few months and over the rest of his term. And he just started, so this is a big deal. So let's move into the next video, and that has to do with marriage-based green card application. Now, I want you to listen carefully. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and click that notification bell. Share this with somebody, guys. Somebody needs to hear this. So here we go. Let's bring that on our screens. Marriage-based green card applications have changed and changed dramatically. Believe me, somebody needs to hear this. And if you think this is a joke, let's check this out. Here we go. Marriage-based green cards. Okay. We're going to bring that on the screen so you can see it. And then we're going to hit play. There you go. Let's go over here. Let's get that going, guys.
Starting this month, marriage-based green cards just became one of the toughest paths to U.S. residency. These changes don't just slow you down, they could send you straight into deportation proceedings. A sweeping policy shift from USCIS is reshaping the rules for thousands of couples, and it's not just for future applications. Even those who filed months ago are now under the microscope. If you're married to a U.S. citizen or planning to apply, this is not the same process you thought you knew. In the next few minutes, we'll walk through exactly what's changed, who is most at risk, and how you can protect your case from denial. The immediate rule change. On August 2nd, 2025, USCIS quietly updated its internal policy manual, but the impact is anything but quiet. This update imposes tougher vetting, mandatory interviews for most applicants, and a stricter fraud detection process. Officers have been directed to begin each case from a standpoint of suspicion, assuming nothing and requiring proof at every step. What's even more important to understand is that these rules are retroactive. That means if you filed your application earlier this year, even as far back as April or May, your file could be pulled for additional review under these new guidelines. This is not a soft rollout. It's already active, and thousands of couples are feeling the effects right now. Why this matters now? The marriage-based green card process has never been quick, but it was relatively straightforward for genuine couples. Now, with over 11 million immigration cases in the USCIS backlog, the agency is under pressure to both clear cases and prevent fraud. Instead of prioritizing speed, the focus has shifted to thoroughness, and in practice, that means more delays. Before, if you missed a document or submitted something incomplete, you often had a chance to fix it with little long-term damage. Under the new rules, missing evidence is no longer treated lightly. It can weaken your case permanently and even push you toward a denial. The new red flags for marriage cases. The updated policy manual includes a detailed list of situations that will trigger heightened scrutiny. While these do not automatically prove fraud, they put your application into what's called a high-risk profile. Common red flags include a large age gap between spouses, especially if there's limited shared history, a very short dating period before marriage, marriage soon after entering the U.S. on a tourist visa or other short-term visa, lack of shared financial accounts, leases, or insurance policies, photo evidence that appears staged, repetitive, or taken all on the same day, limited interaction with each other's families or communities. For example, if your photos together are all from one wedding day in the same outfits, that might raise eyebrows. Officers now look for variety, different events, seasons, locations, and appearances that show a relationship over time. Interviews now the norm. One of the most noticeable changes is that almost all applicants can expect an in-person interview. Before, strong cases sometimes received an interview waiver, especially for couples with children or extensive joint documentation. That's now rare. For flagged cases, the interview process itself is becoming more intense. Couples may be separated and questioned individually, something that used to happen mainly in Stokes interviews, which are reserved for suspected fraud cases. Each spouse is asked the same set of personal questions, and their answers are compared in detail. Even small differences, like the color of a living room couch or the name of a favorite restaurant, can be flagged for further investigation. Home visits and surprise checks. The increase in home visits is another major shift. USCIS officers can now arrive unannounced, either before or after your interview, to verify that you're living together. During these visits, they may check how your clothes are stored, look for shared mail or bills in both names, inspect the layout of the home for signs of cohabitation, ask casual questions about your daily life. While this might sound invasive, it's now part of the standard toolkit for officers. If something doesn't add up, for example, if one spouse's clothes are missing entirely or if utility bills are only in one name, that can damage your case. The new risk of incomplete filings. This is one of the biggest traps under the updated rules. In the past, a missing document often led to a simple request for evidence, RFE. Now, an incomplete or disorganized file can lead directly to denial, and in some cases, a notice to appear in immigration court. That's not just a rejection, it's the start of removal proceedings. And under the new policy, you might not have the option to simply refile your case with the missing information. The margin for error is much smaller, and a single oversight could end your application permanently. A real-world case under the new rules. Here's a clear example of how this plays out. A foreign national entered the U.S. on a tourist visa, married a U.S. citizen within 2 weeks, and filed for a green card. In the past, this timeline might have triggered some questions, but nothing too extreme. Now, that same case is considered automatic high risk. The application was flagged immediately, a home visit was scheduled before the interview date, and the couple's case was placed under active fraud review. Even though they claim their marriage is genuine, The short timeline and lack of long-term joint evidence were enough to put them through months of extra checks. How to prepare under the new standards. If you're starting your
Ladies and
application,
gentlemen, hold on a second. Before we get into how to prepare, marriage-based applications were more routine, especially if they had strong evidence. But if you notice notice what it said, that almost every application is being flagged and looked at from a fraud perspective. That means the first thing they're trying to eliminate is fraud. So when they look at your case, they're saying there's fraud in there, and then they check and then they say if there's no fraud, then they go again and do a secondary check, and they keep checking, and then you have an in-person interview. They'll come and visit you if necessary. In most cases now, that's what they're doing, home visits. This is a big deal, guys. Things have changed. And if you notice, 600 more judges, 10,000 more ICE agents. They're now carrying guns in these federal buildings where you're going to meet with these agents. It's no joke. So let's go and continue listening. And then I'm going to switch to another video. And if you think that's bad, listen to the next one.
treat it like it's your only shot. Here are concrete steps to give yourself the best chance. Collect 3 to 4 months of joint financial records before you file bank accounts, leases, insurance policies, utility bills, and tax returns if possible. Build a strong photo record. Show different times, places, events, clothing, and seasons. Prepare detailed affidavits from friends and family. These should include specific memories and facts about your relationship, not vague statements. Organize your evidence. Use labeled tabs, exhibit lists, and a logical order to make review easy for officers. Be consistent and truthful. Even minor contradictions can lead to doubts and further investigation. Include evidence of ongoing daily life. Shared Amazon orders, grocery receipts, travel itineraries, and joint memberships can all help. Why this is more than just paperwork. This isn't simply a matter of sending in more forms. The new policy reflects a mindset shift at USCIS, one where fraud detection is the starting point, not the backup plan. Every couple must now prove the authenticity of their relationship from day one.
Absolutely. So you remember some of the husbands here, or some of the wives, whichever it is, on Sundays or Saturdays, you say, "You want to go to church, honey?" "No, sir, you can go on." I think church is a great place to start. Community clubs and all that good stuff, because you have a large gathering of people who knows about you and your spouse. So church memberships, club memberships, not so much gym memberships, because that's kind of impersonal. You know what I mean? Only the gym instructor may encounter you that will probably be consistent at the gym to speak on your behalf, and you don't even know if he has a criminal record. So ladies and gentlemen, this is a big deal now. So here we go.
For many, that means gathering and presenting evidence you may have never thought to collect before. It's not about overloading the officer with paper. It's about giving them a complete, consistent, and credible picture of your life together. This change is more than a bureaucratic update. It's a cultural shift in how USCIS approaches marriage cases. Genuine couples now face the same intense scrutiny that used to be reserved for suspected fraud cases. In this environment, preparation is everything. Think of your green card application like a legal trial. Your relationship is the case, your evidence is the proof, and the officer is the judge. The couples who succeed under these rules will be the ones who treat the process with that level of seriousness from the very beginning. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit like, share it with anyone going through the immigration process this year, and subscribe to US Visa Port for real-time.
So ladies and gentlemen, check this out. You gotta share this. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and click that notification bell. It is extremely important that you share this with someone, especially if you have someone here in the United States who's going through immigration situation. If you have problems, speak to an immigration attorney, speak to an immigration specialist. Call me and I'll point you in the right direction. I'll put my numbers down below so that you if you're afraid, contact me and I'll point you in the right direction. So my numbers and contact information is down below. But this, we're going to move into what, things about technology, your digital footprint. Now, your digital footprint is extremely important to you, but it's also top priority of border security. So if you're entering the country, whether you're a green card holder, a visa holder, you gotta think what you want them to see if you want to bring that through the airport. So, ladies and gentlemen, your digital footprint is the most convincing evidence they'll use against you, not your words. The most important is your digital footprint. And if you think that is a joke, listen to this next video, guys. It is no joke here. So let's get that on the screen for you to hear firsthand about your digital footprint. Here we go. Let's move that on the screen and let's get that queued up.
Picture yourself arriving at the airport after a long trip. You've got everything prepared. Your passport is valid, your visa is active, your travel documents are in order, and you even double-checked your luggage to make sure nothing was out of place. You step into the immigration line feeling calm. The officer checks your documents, greets you politely, and you smile back thinking the hardest part is already over. You're confident that in just a few more minutes, you'll be walking freely into the United States. But just before you reach the baggage claim area, another officer approaches and asks something you didn't expect. Could you please unlock your phone? At first, it feels like just another routine step. Without much thought, you enter your code, or use your fingerprint, handing the device over with complete trust. You believe there's nothing to worry about, but minutes go by, 10, then 15, and suddenly you sense the atmosphere shifting. The officer makes a quick phone call, and out of nowhere, 2 more agents appear. They surround you and request that you follow them to a secondary inspection room. In a matter of seconds, your situation changes. You're no longer just an ordinary traveler. You're now being treated as someone suspicious. And all of this is triggered by something inside your phone. Something you didn't even realize could be a problem. Nobody warned you that a small, seemingly harmless detail could be enough to complicate your entry. This isn't a scene from a movie, nor is it an exaggerated story. Incidents like this happen every single day, and more often than you might think. If you believe it could never happen to you, then it's time to pay close attention. In today's world, your phone has become the #1 source of information for immigration officers. Even if your paperwork is flawless, what's stored on your device can determine whether you pass through smoothly or face a stressful situation. In this video,
business owners, I'm talking to y'all.
So hold on, let's get this off the screen. Go back to regular programming. Here we go, guys.
Exactly what types of information inside a phone can raise red flags, which mistakes travelers unknowingly make, and how to protect yourself so your own device doesn't become the reason your visa gets canceled or your entry denied. We'll also tackle the questions most people are afraid to ask. What do officers really check when they look at a phone? What happens if I refuse? What kind of messages, photos, or apps could cause serious problems? Even if you've never broken the law, what you're about to learn could save you from losing your travel rights, facing legal complications, or being blocked from entering the country. That's why it's so important to pay attention from the very beginning. Let's start with the basics. Why can an immigration officer demand to see your phone? The answer is simple: because the law allows it. The U.S. Customs and Border Protection Agency, or CBP, has legal authority to inspect everything you carry when entering the country. That includes your luggage, your laptop, your tablet, your external drives, and even the public content available on your social media profiles. What exactly are officers looking for when they check a phone? In reality, their focus falls on 3 main points. First, They want to confirm that your reason for traveling aligns with the type of visa you hold. Second, they're searching for any potential connection to suspicious or irregular activities. And third, they're making sure that no one is attempting to stay longer than authorized or use their visa for a purpose different from what was declared. To make it clearer, let's go through a real-life example from 2022. A young traveler from Mexico arrived at Los Angeles International Airport with a tourist visa. Everything seemed fine. His paperwork was in order, luggage checked, no apparent problems. But when officers reviewed his phone, they came across WhatsApp messages with his cousin. In one of those texts, he wrote, "Send me the address of the shop for tomorrow. I've already arrived. Tell the boss I'm ready to start." For him, it was just a casual message. For CBP, it was evidence that his real intention was not tourism, but work. The outcome was immediate. His visa was canceled on the spot, he was put on the next flight home, and he received a 5-year ban under Section 212 of the Immigration Act. What makes this case alarming is that the traveler wasn't planning on settling permanently. His goal was only to stay a week, earn a bit of extra cash, and enjoy sightseeing. But even that was considered a violation. The rule is strict. With a tourist visa, you cannot work. Not a full shift, not a half day, not even for a few hours. And if your phone reveals otherwise, your digital trail carries more weight than your words. Now, let's address a common question. What happens if you refuse to hand over your phone? Many people assume that saying no is a way to protect their privacy. And while in your everyday life you have the right to safeguard your information, at the border, the situation changes completely. CBP doesn't need a court order to review your devices at that.
I want you to listen carefully, guys, to this point, because a lot of people traveling through the airport, you're nonchalant, you're on your phone, you're texting, you're doing a lot of stuff, and you feel that, hey, my phone is private, nobody can get in here. All right, keep listening. This is a big deal. Let me roll this back a little bit so you understand the seriousness of what's going on here. So therefore, like, share, subscribe, comment, and click that notification bell. Somebody needs to hear this. So if you're a green card holder, a visa holder, you're coming to the United States, remember, everything can be checked, including your phone. So you got to be careful, you know, what you have on that phone there, and who you're connected to, who you're speaking to, what websites you're going on, what are you sharing on your phone. Even though sharing, you think that you're out of the loop because somebody else posted it, because you are a party to it, then it becomes a problem to you. So keep listening. Here we go.
Your information. At the border, the situation changes completely. CBP doesn't need a court order to review your devices at that point of entry. They have legal authority to inspect without needing probable cause. And if you refuse, the consequences can escalate quickly. You may be detained in a secondary inspection room for hours. Your device could be held for days or weeks while they perform a full forensic analysis. And if the officer concludes you're not cooperating, they can deny your entry outright. Here's a real case. A young woman from El Salvador arrived at Houston Airport. When asked to unlock her phone, she refused, saying the contents were private. The result? She was held for 4 hours, her phone was confiscated, and she was denied entry. She lost her flight, her visa was canceled, and she was sent back home that same day. It's crucial to understand that while CBP cannot physically force you to unlock your device, they can use your refusal as grounds to stop you from entering, especially if you are not a permanent resident or U.S. citizen. Each case is judged not only by the officer's discretion, but also by the immigration status you're using to enter. And now that you know why officers have the right to review your phone, let's talk about the most sensitive issue: content. What kind of material stored on your device can cause your visa to be canceled, your entry denied, or even lead to detention? The answer isn't theoretical. It happens daily, and real-life examples make it crystal clear. The first red flag is unauthorized employment. If you have a tourist visa and your chats include something like, "I already have a job lined up in New Jersey. I start tomorrow at the restaurant and I'll get paid by the hour," that's enough to create problems. Even if you never worked a single shift, just expressing the intention to do so can trigger an immediate denial of entry. In fact, officers have the authority to cancel your visa on the spot, leaving you with no chance to appeal. Second, photos with weapons. Maybe in your home country it's perfectly legal or even common to pose at a shooting range, holding a rifle, or showing a personal firearm collection. But at the border, such images can be interpreted as potential ties to criminal groups or as a threat to national security. The same applies if you appear in pictures alongside people with tattoos linked to gangs, wearing masks, or displaying symbols associated with violent organizations. Even if it was taken as a joke or during a party, That single photo could be enough to block your entry. Third, any material connected to drugs. This includes photos with cannabis, pipes, THC-infused products, or even casual conversations where you mention trying something.
So, guys, you know, the people that like to put up them signs, you know, the signs, you like to show off your smoke or crushing out your smoke in your hand, and you're associated with a lot of people with guns, and they're rolling up stuff and lighting it up. Um, stay away. What I'm saying is that if it's on your phone or in your social media, coming through the airport, that can be a problem. Listen carefully as it's explained to you so that you can understand the ramifications to you, the individual, if you're associated with any of those stuff. Keep listening. Like, share, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell, share it with somebody. Somebody needs to hear this.
While some U.S. states allow recreational marijuana use, under federal law it remains a controlled substance. Immigration officers work under federal jurisdiction, meaning that any trace of involvement, no matter how small, can be used as evidence against you when entering the country. Fourth, discussions or references to illegal crossings or smuggling. Words like coyote, guide, jump, or pass are heavily monitored by CBP systems. And it doesn't matter if you didn't personally send those messages. If they are on your device, you are considered responsible for them. A real case illustrates this clearly. A young man from Honduras, entering with humanitarian parole, was detained in Texas after officers found group chats on Telegram organizing unlawful border crossings. He wasn't writing messages himself, but his membership in the group was enough for authorities to charge him with conspiracy related to human trafficking. He was later released on bond, but his immigration status remains under constant threat. Lastly, suspicious applications. Apps that fake GPS locations, programs that manage or spy on other people's social media accounts, unofficial VPNs, or software designed to alter documents raise immediate concerns. To immigration authorities, these are not seen as harmless downloads. They are interpreted as tools intended to bypass security controls, manipulate evidence, or commit fraud. Just having them on your phone can be reason enough to subject you to deeper scrutiny and possibly deny your entry. Some apps or files may have legitimate everyday uses, but at the border, there's no time for long explanations. Officers act quickly, judging only what they see in front of them. And here's where many travelers make a mistake. They believe that by deleting chats, photos, or apps before traveling, their device will be safe. The truth is quite different. CBP has forensic tools capable of recovering deleted files, messages, and photos, even if you used special software to erase them. And sometimes, a completely empty phone looks more suspicious than one with basic content.
So I need you to pay attention, guys, to what they just said. I'm going to roll that back a little bit because that's extremely important. So let's get back to what they say about erasing things from your phone, thinking that it's gone forever. They have technology to mine that data from your phone and get it out there and see what's been going on. A completely empty phone is also cause for suspicion. Can you imagine that? So, you know, to avoid this kind of a interruption in your travel, then just stay away from posting certain things on social media. So check or on your phone or messaging people on your phone that about things that you should not be talking about, or joining certain groups, sharing certain groups' messages, because if it's on your phone, then you're responsible for it. So don't make the mistake, guys. Here we go.
They believe that by deleting chats, photos, or apps before traveling, their device will be safe. The truth is quite different. CBP has forensic tools capable of recovering deleted files, messages, and photos, even if you used special software to erase them. And sometimes, a completely empty phone looks more suspicious than one with basic content. After all, what traveler shows up with a brand new phone that has nothing inside? The smartest move is not to wipe your device clean, but to perform a logical and careful cleanup. Leave only what is necessary. Exit sensitive group chats. Remove questionable images, back up personal documents to secure cloud storage, and avoid carrying files that could create misunderstandings. The goal is not to hide anything unlawful, but to prevent harmless details from being misinterpreted in a way that harms your entry. Here are some practical tips. Go through your photo gallery and remove any images that might suggest connections to drugs, weapons, or suspicious activities. Do not travel with conversations about jobs, contracts, or business deals if you're entering on a tourist visa. Leave behind groups on WhatsApp or Telegram where sensitive subjects are discussed. Keep your phone ready to be unlocked if asked, but make sure it doesn't hold unnecessary content. And if you are questioned, answer with honesty and confidence. Don't invent stories, don't exaggerate, and don't hide basic facts. For truly important personal data, use encrypted cloud storage to keep it safe. Always remember, your phone can be used as evidence in an immigration or even criminal process. You don't need to have committed a crime to face consequences. Sometimes what's on your device is enough to raise red flags. For proof, look at this real case. A young man from Venezuela entering under humanitarian parole showed up for his work permit interview. The moment he arrived, ICE officers detained him. On his phone, they found chat messages where he mentioned selling candy in the subway without a permit. Just candy. That was classified as unauthorized economic activity. He was held for 48 hours, released only after posting an $8,000 bond, and now faces a removal process that could endanger his legal status. The lesson is simple. This isn't about living in fear. It's about being ready. Today, your phone is a stronger source of information than any immigration form. What's stored inside it can either help you or destroy your travel plans. If you found this information helpful, share it with someone who's planning to travel soon. You might save them from a stressful situation, a misunderstanding, or something far worse. Hit the like button if this opened your eyes, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to stay updated with more immigration tips and alerts that could make a real difference in your journey. Now it's your turn. I want to hear from you. Share your story in the comments. Have you ever had your phone checked at the airport or at a border crossing? What did the officers ask? What did you see? Your experience could be exactly what another traveler needs to know before their next trip. Remember, when it comes to immigration, what you don't know can cost you a lot. Information is power, and being prepared can mean the difference between a smooth journey and a very stressful experience. Thank you for staying with us until...
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, share this with somebody who needs it. Or just share it, you know. From the airport to living here or coming here, it's a different ball game. It's not business as usual. And somebody needs to hear this. So share this, like and share. Okay. There's another topic I want to touch on, and this has to do with U.S. citizens who are retired abroad. Your U.S. citizen is not as secure as you think if you're involved in certain things. You can lose it, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're retired abroad, you need to share this with somebody who's there and needs to hear this. I'm not going to go through the entire video, but I will comment on it as we go along. So here we go. Let's check this video out, and it has to do with U.S. citizens who are abroad. And just beware that you're in your current the country that you live in, being a U.S. citizen, you've got to be absolutely careful of how you conduct yourself. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to put that on my screen. Remember, I'm not providing immigration advice. You need to speak to an immigration attorney and immigration specialist. This is public knowledge, and I'm pointing these out to you. If you need to speak to an immigration attorney or an immigration specialist, you do so to get what your current situation is, what your status is, what is your problem that needs to be solved. Speak to an immigration attorney. If you don't know one, or you need to be pointed in the right direction, or in the direction of one, or you need your cases solved, you can also contact me, and I'll point you in the right direction. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is for U.S. citizens who live abroad. You need to hear this. Share it with somebody, because you don't want to be caught in a dilemma that you lose your citizenship. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get that video started.
You think a US passport is forever? You think American citizenship is untouchable? You believe that having a US passport means everything will always be safe? That you have the right to return anytime, receive Social Security, and be protected by US law? You're wrong. Thousands of Americans lose their citizenship every year, without committing a crime, without rebelling, without betraying anyone. They lose it, simply because they didn't know, because of one signature, because of an action they thought was just convenient. And by the time they realize it, it's too late, far too late. Because once it's gone, you can no longer return home. No more benefits, no more security, no more identity. But what if I told you that right now, there are Americans, just like you, being deported from the very country they call home? No warning, no chance to react, all because they didn't know what could take away their citizenship. Every year, thousands of US citizens lose their nationality, and most never thought it could happen to them. You could be next, just because you live abroad, just because you checked the wrong box, just because you didn't read one small line in a form. And if you're retiring in Thailand, Portugal, Mexico, or anywhere else, you might be in the most dangerous position without even knowing it. 5. The surprising truth about losing US citizenship. Because the first people to lose their citizenship are always the ones who never believed it could happen to them. Most Americans, especially retirees, believe that US citizenship is permanent. That once you've been naturalized and hold a US passport, no one can take that identity away from you. But here's the truth. US citizenship can absolutely be taken away. And in today's video, I'm going to reveal the hidden risks for retirees living abroad, how seemingly harmless actions could cost you your citizenship, 5 shocking reasons you could lose your US citizenship, even if you've never broken a single law, the irreversible consequences, from losing your passport, losing your Social Security benefits, to being barred from ever returning to the US. And finally, the exact steps you need to take right now to protect the most important legal identity of your life. Don't miss this. The information in this video is not on TV. It's not in a government letter. And by the time you find out, it might be too late. Hit like, subscribe to Discover Top 10, and comment below. I will not lose my citizenship. That one small action could be the only thing keeping you tied to the legal system you once believed would protect you forever. 4. Unique risks for retirees. Living abroad. You did nothing wrong, but you could still lose your citizenship. You've spent your whole life preparing for retirement, and now you're enjoying the fruits of that labor in a faraway place. Maybe the coast of Thailand, the quiet countryside of Portugal, or a mountain town in Mexico. No more work, no more freezing winters, just slow mornings and coffee on the porch. But do you know that simply being away from the US can actually put your citizenship at risk? There are 3 common reasons why retirees living abroad are among the most vulnerable, even when they've done nothing wrong. First is the lack of awareness about US legal updates. Living on the other side of the world, you might miss small changes in immigration, nationality, or financial laws. A seemingly harmless action, like acquiring another citizenship to buy property more easily, or overlooking a line in your tax forms, could be interpreted as renouncing your ties to America. And the scary truth is, the legal system often doesn't distinguish between unintentional and intentional if you're not careful. Second is participating in activities with unforeseen consequences. Many retirees find joy in volunteering to teach English, helping with translations, or joining the local neighborhood council. But even these seemingly community-based actions, if connected to politically affiliated groups or local governments, might be interpreted as foreign political engagement. If misunderstood, it could trigger a review of your citizenship status. Third is making legal decisions without fully understanding the implications. You might apply for local citizenship for practical reasons, like easier access to healthcare, insurance, real estate, or travel. But if, in that application, You unknowingly swear an oath to renounce prior citizenships without realizing the weight of that line. You could lose your U.S. citizenship without even knowing it. The concern isn't that you're living well abroad. The concern is that this freedom comes with responsibilities that aren't always visible. You don't need to be afraid, but you do need to stay alert, because citizenship isn't always lost through guilt. Sometimes it's lost in a moment of unawareness. Where are you currently living? Comment the name of your retirement destination so I can know exactly what information you need most.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into that in subsequent shows. But that I brought that to your attention to let you know that even with citizenship, it is not a guarantee for if you don't keep yourself aware, because that's why they have embassies, ladies and gentlemen. So you got to be aware of what's going on. Welcome back to the welcome to Naram Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show. And please like, share, subscribe, and comment, and click that notification bell. Remember, we're here always for you. So like and follow, share this with somebody. Subscribe to the show, keep the show alive. You can donate. On PIP Mondays, I'm gonna start putting up that donate sign so you can donate to keep the show alive. Share it to keep it alive, ladies and gentlemen. We thank you in advance. And this is a beautiful, beautiful show, family show for everybody. So like, share, subscribe, and comment, and click that notification bell. All right. So I'm gonna cut the show here. And also remember, if you're in South Central Jamaica, we have a couple of places that you can go to. So you're gonna check it out. Check it out, ladies and gentlemen. If you're in South Central Jamaica, always remember Paul's Fish Stop. Paul's Fish Stop is in down Manchester. A really good place to be, and they have cricket on Sunday. That's tomorrow in Downs District at the Bowls Oval. But you can also get some mean steamed fish there, and it's a great place to be to take the family. Always remember, if you're down in South Central Jamaica, check out Lisa's Rice Spot Bar. This is Pier District in Manchester. Great place to be also. And if you're in the Prospect District area, Top Rock Bar and Grill. It's a beautiful place to go. Enjoy your seafood on the rock at Top Rock. And remember, my place, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jen, great place to hang out. We're going to have a great kitchen coming soon. That's going to land for Christmas. And I'm telling you, that's going to be a big deal. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. Be safe. Always remember to pray when you're going out. Pray when you're coming in. And always remember, God is in control. Thank you for being on the show. Like, share, subscribe, comment. We'll be back on Monday for PIP Mondays. You don't want to miss PIP Mondays, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a big deal. And this time we hope that Gia will be able to come and talk about her Sunday vibes in Morningside. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being on the show. It's a big deal. Thank you so much.